This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. NSA whistleblower Reality Winner has been sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison, the longest sentence ever imposed in federal court for leaking government information to the media. The 26-year-old Reality Winner is the first person to be sentenced under the Espionage Act since President Trump took office. Her sentencing Thursday came after she pleaded guilty in June to transmitting a top-secret document to a news organization. She'd faced up to 10 years in prison. This is Bobby Christine, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Georgia, speaking after Winner's sentencing.
The sentence rendered today is the longest received by a defendant for an unauthorized disclosure of national defense information to the media. It appropriately satisfies the need for both punishment and deterrence in light of the nature and seriousness of the offense. Winner's purposeful violation put our nation's security at risk. She claimed to hate America. When asked, "You don't really hate America, right?" She responded, "I mean, yeah, I do. It's literally the worst thing to happen on the planet." She was the quintessential example of an insider threat.
Reality Winner was arrested by FBI agents at her home in Augusta, Georgia, June 3rd, 2017, 2 days before The Intercept published an expose revealing Russian military intelligence and conducted a cyber attack on at least one U.S. voting software company just days before the U.S. presidential election in 2016. The expose was based on a classified NSA report from May 5th, 2017, that shows the agency is convinced the Russian General Staff Main Intelligence Directorate, or GRU, was responsible for interfering in the 2016 presidential election. Earlier this morning, President Trump tweeted about the case, saying, quote, "Ex-NSA contractor to spend 63 months in jail over classified information. Gee, this is small potatoes compared to what Hillary Clinton did. So unfair, Jeff, double standard." He was referring to Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who he has been attacking over the last 24 hours. For more, we're joined by 3 guests who were in the courtroom Thursday during Reality Winner's sentencing. Joining us via Democracy Now! Video stream is Billy Winner Davis, mother of Reality Lee Winner. She's joining us from Augusta, where Reality Winner was sentenced. In Atlanta, Georgia, Kevin Gosztola is managing editor of Shadowproof Press. He's been covering Reality's case and has covered several whistleblower trials, including that of Chelsea Manning. He was in the courtroom on Wednesday. And in Washington, D.C., James Risen is with us, The Intercept senior national security correspondent, a best-selling author, and a former New York Times reporter. Also serves as director of First Look Media's Press Freedom Defense Fund. We welcome you all to Democracy Now! Let's begin with Reality's mother, Billy Winner Davis. You were in the courtroom with your daughter. Can you share your reaction to her plea deal and sentencing?
Well, I think yesterday, my initial reaction to the whole proceeding and the judge's sentencing was I was relieved that the judge did approve of the plea agreement that the parties had reached for the 63 months in prison and with a 3-year supervised release. Today, I'm a little bit bitter. I'm a little angry. No, I should say I'm a lot bitter today. Just processing it, knowing that she is going to be serving the longest prison sentence for this, hearing Mr. Christine's comments about her, hearing, again, that she has to be the deterrent for anyone else in America who would think of warning us, of blowing the whistle on something important like this. It's really hard. It's hard as her mother to have to experience this and to know that she's going to be the one who is going to set the example. She's that first leaker under Trump's administration. She's the first one that they intended to nail to the door as a message to others.
And can you share Reality's statement yesterday before the judge?
Reality had a pretty lengthy statement that she had worked on. She let the judge know a little bit about who she was, She did share with the court that she was grateful for the professionalism that everyone had shown to her, the respectful environment. She let the court know, a little bit about who she was, why she went in to serve her country. She basically went through her childhood, her relationship with her father, how 9/11 had affected her as a child, how she followed her stepbrother's footsteps to go into the Air Force to be a linguist. She wanted to serve her country. She really had the desire to protect and defend and serve her country. I think she was trying to, let the court know that although in some statements with texting with her sister, she did indicate that she hates America, that's not really who she was. And so she was really letting the court know a little bit about herself. She also apologized to the court. She apologized to the government for the breach of trust. She apologized to the court and the government for the expense that she has cost them. She apologized to her family. She indicated that she knew that what she had done was wrong. She indicated that she was willing to accept responsibility and willing to move forward and accept the consequences of her actions.
How long has she been in jail, Billy?
She's been in jail for about 15 months.
Will that be will time served be part of that more than 5 years in jail?
Yes, it's my understanding that time served will count toward her sentence, day for day.
When she came into the courtroom, you heard her shackles?
Yes, that was really difficult. That's the first time that we've heard that, I think, because typically she's been in the courtroom downstairs and there's carpeting. You kind of hear her shuffle. But yesterday it was very quiet when they brought her in, and when she went up to the podium, you could actually hear her leg shackles hit the floor and make that clanking sound. It's really striking that every time that Reality has appeared in court, she has to wear the orange inmate jumpsuit. She is shackled. She is very much presented as a criminal in that court. They dehumanize her, and they portray her as a criminal.
Now, your daughter, Reality, will be incarcerated at the Federal Medical Center Carswell in Fort Worth, Texas. Why a medical center?
That is only the recommendation at this time. That's the recommendation that her defense team is making for her, a recommendation that a psychiatrist is making for her. And the judge actually approved of that recommendation yesterday. Whether or not she's placed there, we won't know. That will be up to the Bureau of Prisons to decide. But we do feel like that facility will meet her needs. My daughter does suffer from severe depression. She does suffer from bulimia. This entire situation with her being incarcerated, her inability to really control her environment has been very difficult on her. And we're hoping that she is placed there so that they can meet her needs and she can get the treatment that she needs.
And did you speak to her? Were you able to communicate with her yesterday?
Afterward, she called me when she was back at the jail. The defense team did ask the marshals if we could be allowed, a brief visit with her yesterday at the courthouse. And again, we were denied. They make this request whenever they can. And again, the marshals will not permit us to be in the same room with her.
We're going to break and then come back to this discussion. We're speaking to Billy Winner Davis. She is the mother of Reality Winner, who has just been sentenced to more than 5 years for releasing intelligence, leaking a top-secret document to The Intercept. When we come back, in addition to Billy Winner Davis, we'll be joined by Jim Risen. He is now at The Intercept. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. He himself has been prosecuted under the Obama administration. And we'll talk about that as well. And Kevin Gostel, a longtime reporter in the courtroom yesterday, he'll be speaking to us from Atlanta. Stay with us.